All right, so we're going to start. So, meal planning. So my thought, I'll just go here, kind of who I am. You guys all probably know me as the Tupperware gal. I also have a big background in sports nutrition. I have a background in also nutrition. I have background in health coaching. So meal planning for me is one of my most favorite things to do when it comes to health, because I find if we do meal planning, that kind of sets us up for eating better, which gives us more energy, which really falls into everything. So I love talking about meal planning and really helping people. And to be honest, I never really got a grasp at meal planning until I started Tupperware. So I love that it kind of incorporates it all. So first, what is meal planning? Like, I think there's a whole wide range of what people think meal planning is, and people think that, I can only meal plan if I'm on a diet or I'm doing some keto thing or if I'm working out. We get this thought in our head that we can only meal plan if we're doing those things, right? But really, meal planning is, I like this quote that I made up, is asking the question, what's for dinner once for the whole week instead of every night. So it's really taking care of that stress, and it gives us more control. I know that if I don't have a meal plan, I'm opting to go eat a bag of chips and that's my dinner. It gives us more control. And I know when I still have kids, but when they were littler, it really brought down that stress of what's for dinner. Mom, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? It really was able to reduce all of that. So I know this might be basic, but I just really wanted to talk about what meal planning is and what meal planning isn't, because I think when we know what it isn't, that is usually what blocks us, what steps in our way from not doing it. A lot of people think it's expensive. It's going to cost us a lot more money, that we can never have home cooked meals, that it's just for families, that it's a lot of time and work, and it's just for people who are on health kicks or dieting. I have worked and helped people, even with selling Tupperware, that are home alone and they need meal plans more than sometimes family, because they're used of creating meal, food for the whole family. Now it's just one of them. So they need to meal plan that they're not making, the big things of chili. It can be for like a couple, it could be for one person, it could be a whole family. And it really, I'll admit, the first time you start meal planning, it may be a lot of work, because if you know anything about changing patterns of that, it's at first a lot of work. And then once you get a system, it's quite easily done on a shorter period of time. So, something to think about, what brought you here? I asked that at the beginning. You can take this class, you can use those handouts that I put in the group, you can do all of that and think that you can do meal planning. But I think until we kind of dig deep and figure out why it hasn't worked before and really why you want to meal plan, that would always stand in our way. We always have great intentions, but if we don't know why it hasn't worked before, and what's standing in our way, we're going to continually go in this circle of, oh, I want to eat better. I want to eat better and eat good for a week. And then, for the next 3 weeks out of the month, we're eating chips every night. And this is not a judgment by all means. It's just because I've done it my whole, a lot of my life. And it's helpful to know what has standed in our way before, so we can My door's closed, my cats are trying to get in, sorry. So we can kind of move ahead from that, right? And what I suggest is really taking baby steps, okay? Maybe I will plan for 3 days of the week and kind of test the water, see how I feel, you know, all that. And the picture I've got there is another thing that people think, okay, we're going to meal plan and all we're going to do is eat salad, which isn't the truth of it at all. All right. So the first step in meal planning is meal planning, right? Picking some recipes. And I have that we need to pick them wisely and carefully because, you know, I think also we have to think, okay, when it's not a time to come up with 5 new recipes that we've never tried before, and life is going to be good, and my family is going to love them, and I'm going to go keto, or I'm going to go veg, or whatever, and this is going to be this great thing, which I have done too. You come home from the library, you've got a stack of books, and you know, you're going to go gung-ho on it all, and you end up hating it and hating me because I suggested it, and you get burnt out. So we really want to set up for success, not for failure. And when I say choose recipes wisely and carefully, my suggestion is create or pick recipes that you've done before, and pick one new one that you're going to try. And think of recipes that you can do leftovers with, right? Chilies are good, lasagnas are good, pasta dishes are good, because part of meal planning too is making plan ahead meals that we can then have for lunches and that. And then I really think, having 4 recipes you've done before, 4 that you've done, and then 1 new one is a really, really good recipe. And if you're new to it, do theme days. Like I've got up here, meatless Monday, taco Tuesday, try it Thursday. I didn't have anything for Wednesday. I don't know, wing it Wednesday, maybe wings Wednesday or something. I don't know. I drew a blank on Wednesday. But then if we have themes, okay, every Tuesday we're going to do some kind of tacos or Mexican, just till you get into the flow of doing it. And then I really want you to think of things that you really want to eat. Part of the recipes are, don't do things that you never, know your family aren't going to eat. Like if you try a new recipe, try something that your family will like. Maybe it's a new type of pasta, or a new kind of soup or chili or something, but not something that you think you're going to trick your family into eating. That being said, I'm not big on trickery. I don't like that I love cauliflower, but I don't like the idea of using it and then telling your family it's something else. Like we got to be honest with food, and that's just my thoughts. People have asked me in the past, how do I trick my kids into eating vegetables? And you don't. You got to tell them what it is, because when they find out, they're going to not like it. And I think we need to be honest around the food that we're eating. Right. And with meal planning, too, also with this, there's different ways of doing it with theme days. Is you can shop around and make meals around sales flyers. That's an idea too. Okay, wherever you guys are shopping here, it's Save on Foods. Like Save on Foods has a big sale on chicken, for example. I'm going to make 2 or 3 meals this week on chicken because I know that's on sale. That's another way of choosing your recipes too, based on flyers, based on what you're going to shop on. And then once you've got, okay, so step 1 is kind of getting deep and figuring out why it hasn't worked. Set some goals. What does that look like? Pick out the recipes. And now how to shop. And as you know, you think it's kind of standard, but it is shopping for a process. You know, you've got your meal plan, you've got your plan. Nothing's worse than going to the grocery store and buying a whole whack of different stuff. So really knowing how to create a shopping list. I love online shopping, and I don't know if that's where everybody is, if they have online shopping, but I find that it's the easiest for shopping. I know for people that shop at Costco, that's not a possibility, but I highly suggest it because you can get everything from your list. It's good for budgets. You're not overspending. You can look at what exactly the balance is, and you know that that's within your budget. That's one suggestion I've always used is online shopping to do it. But if there isn't something you guys shop at Costco or do anything else, my thing is create a master list, like things that, first of all, things that you always are going to use, you know, whether it's milk or non-dairy milk or coffee, like that's your master list. Print it off so you know that that's something you buy every time you shop. And look at your recipes. Okay, this takes lettuce, this takes lettuce. I use that. I don't know how many recipes there could be for lettuce, but like, you know, look at each recipe and say, okay, this is a cup of pasta, this is a cup, this, okay, I'm going to need 1 bag of pasta, and just really create it. And I do admit at the beginning, it would be a little bit more work than we're probably used to. And then afterwards, you kind of get into a flow. You might say, oh, I don't really like this recipe because I have to buy all this stuff just for that one recipe, and it's not economical. What's nice about following a recipe and shopping by that, you're not buying a whole bunch of stuff that you may not need. Like you don't go pushing your cart down a thing and say, oh my gosh, you know, this is on sale. You don't get caught up in that fear of missing out, right? You're not like, oh my gosh, this is on sale, I've got to get it. But you look at your list and go, no, it's a good deal, but we don't need it because it's nothing that we're going to eat in the next 2 weeks or however often you do your shopping. For me, it is only a good deal if you're going to use it, right? There might be a good deal, but if you're just spending your money and it's sitting in your freezer for long, it's not going to be such a good deal afterwards anyways. So this is prep, and I know a few of you do have FridgeSmart do have different products, and I want to show you and really teach how to use the products that you have, right? And Tupperware really does fit with the whole meal planning, whether it's cutting up salads, and you'll see here on the picture the FridgeSmart, like making sure you have all of the salads. You can use FridgeSmart. I know I've taught people don't wash it, just put it in, but you can see the bigger one on the bottom with the peppers. You can have one of those filled with cut vegetables, right? You can, I always have in my salad one bowl that's cut up fruit. Like we bought a pineapple and there's a pineapple in one of them. There's salad in another one. You can have a bowl cut up veggies, because what I do is once I've, you know, so you go for your recipes, you go for your shopping, and then I spend an hour or so Sunday prepping. Okay, you know, I do a bowl of salad that's going to do me for 2 or 3 nights. I have another one, a small bowl open with washed grapes. So when the thought is when you open the fridge and you're hungry and you know you want something to eat, you see that first of all. I also have another one, salad vegetables that are already cut up. You know, salad is a good one to have on hand for whatever reason, and I do it too. You'd think I wouldn't, being vegan, but you know, if salad seems sometimes a big deal to make. I don't know what it is, but it can be such a big deal to make. And having that in the fridge makes meal times easier, right? You grab the bowl, you stuck it on the table, and then you're making your main course, and the salad is already made. Here's my next slide. Like, imagine all these bowls, right? The little ones here are perfect for having fresh salsa, having guacamole, having fruit. As much as we say don't wash it, you can have a smaller bowl full of washed fruit on your counter. You can have it in the fridge, and it makes stuff less sporadic, right? It's already there, it's already made, you kind of have it all organized. And I really believe the more that we can get together and do it ahead of time, we really can. So those are the basic steps to doing meal planning. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And hang on. All right. So sorry, and I'll read the chats afterwards. So for me, those are the basic steps on it. And I don't know if you guys saw, I had in the book, in the page, like different printouts that you can do. You can get fancy. Now, for me, I just write on a blank piece. I used to do it really fancy when the kids were little. I used to have a whiteboard in my kitchen and write it all. Now, I just do a little piece of paper. But really kind of doing whatever fits for you. And it does when your kids are younger to have a whiteboard or something up in your kitchen showing the meals. So when they're sporadic, when they're kind of asking you, screaming, it's not asking, let's be honest, it's screaming at you what's for dinner, you can kind of point at the board and say, all right, this is what's for dinner. And they can, they'll be able to read it, right? And they'll be able to kind of, I find it really has that calming effect, pointing at the information, it's all calmed down. And how, I know for myself, how it's helped my eating, right? Honest place, I do eat chips if I have, if I, not on that plan, like I'll just go for everything. So it really is able to keep our eating more organized, and just more that we can do, the better. So do you guys have any, that's a little bit, I can go into more details if you guys have other questions, but I just want to give some tips and show how it can be easier. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? We can go off mute, and I can stop recording if you guys want.
No, it doesn't matter to me, Anna.
Okay.
I think those are great tips. That's a lot of really helpful info. I like the themes. That's a really good idea. And then I guess, I have a family of 5, so meal planning for me, I think I might do better just doing it for a few days. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
That's because that's how I tend to shop, or I did, I guess. I've really been trying not to shop as frequently, obviously. So, but I know that I can incorporate that in my planning too.
Yeah, I think, and that's why I want to come on, because we think, okay, we have to do this big thing, but start, okay, this week I'm going to plan for 2 nights.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I think the themes help. I think, Allie, you've had themes since day one, haven't you? I know for the most.
Yeah, actually I'm on my, yes, they can see you naked and she's recording. So.
Sorry.
Oh.
Whatever, she's wearing a bra.
Okay.
I actually have, that's how she dresses all the time. I don't know if you can see behind me. That's actually under my kitchen. That's and my kids are grown, and I have to go back to my meal planning because it was worse. Now they know which day they want to come for dinner and which day they don't. So my meals are crock pot on Monday. It doesn't say what. Tacos on Tuesday. That could be spaghetti tacos, that could be chicken tacos, it could be beef tacos, it could be nacho chips and a salad. It just has to have something taco-y. Breakfast on Wednesday, beef on Thursday, pizza on Friday, try something new on Saturday, and then family day is Sunday when my kids come for dinner, and I usually make something good, something better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I can't function. There's no recipes attached to that.
Yeah.
But that's how I decide how to get recipes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and like I think like the theme too, like, okay, we know Friday's fish. I have to come up with something for Wednesday. Wednesday's like, okay, wings Wednesday, or I don't eat
No,
wings,
it has to be breakfast. Breakfast for dinner.
Okay, we can do that.
Like omelets or crepes, pancakes, waffles. It could be like a skillet pan.
There we go. Okay.
You never get those good breakfasts during the week.
No. All right.
And if you're having a bum day, it can be freaking cereal. Go grab yourself a bowl. Mom's day off.
Yeah. And
what's for dinner? Whatever you make.
Yeah, and I think as much prep as we can do, like I mean, especially this month, but everybody has bowls. Like do as much prep ahead of time, whether it's making the salsa, making the salad, having dips in the fridge, wash some fruit and put it in the fridge, I find is huge too. Like it's all, for me, it's all my fridge smart, but I have bowls everywhere full of different things. And I started that when my kids were little, right? What's for snack? Because they stopped asking what's for dinner. So then it became what's for snacks. Yeah. And they could pick one of those things.
Do you label them? Or you
No.
just know, you're like, I know what that is. I usually do that. I'm pretty visual. So I just remember what things are.
Yes. Yeah. Some of the bowls, I know that we are kind of translucent that you can see through.
Yeah.
And that
I have lots of Tupperware. I love Tupperware. I have my eggs in Tupperware.